Peace, everybody. Welcome to CapitalofCombat. Name says it all. I'm Hakeem Branch.
Rob-Dirrell.
And today we got a doozy of an episode for you because we got a doozy of a show to cover. It's the Showtime quadruple header that's happening this Saturday, December 7th. I don't even know what time it comes on. There's a lot of fights. They're all 12-round fights.
Championship bouts.
And they're all very intriguing bouts. A few of them won't be too aesthetically pleasing, but if you know what to look out for, you can still enjoy the fight. And that's what we're going to cover on at least two of these fights, which the Sakio Bika Anthony Dirrell fight, that one's probably going to be ugly. Devin Alexander Sean Porter, that's probably going to be ugly.
That's right.
We got Trout-Lara and Austin Trout. That's going to be the one for the boxing savant. That one's got some intriguing points to it as well. And then you got the main event, which is Judah-Malignaggi versus Judah. That one's going to be pretty entertaining.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I think that one's going to be a great fight to watch. They're going to throw some leather. They're both good boxers as well. You got the power puncher in Judah, the smooth boxer in Malignaggi. Both of them being from Brooklyn. They're not going to want to walk out of there with an L to their fellow Brooklynite. Tune in for that one. Go ahead.
Now, for the first fight of the evening, you have the champ Sakio Bika versus Anthony Dirrell. Now, I only have one word for this fight. Wild.
Yeah.
Wild. Sakio Bika is probably one of the wildest, roughest, most physically strong 175 pounders. Is it 175 pounders?
68.
168 pounders that you will see. I mean, this dude is probably a bull. Which actually tells you something because Andre Ward bullied him around.
Yeah.
But the guy has...
It took him a while, though.
It took him a while. But still. This guy is going to throw the sink, the tub, the shower ring, maybe a few tables. He's throwing everything at you. And it's going to be wild, it's going to be wide, and it's going to, if it lands, it's going to hurt.
Yeah. But then you got Anthony Dirrell, who is a very fast power puncher. This is going to be his biggest fight today. This is his first title opportunity. If you guys have followed the sport for a while, you know he's the brother of Andre Dirrell. I believe he's the older brother. He took a few years off because he contracted non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, which I believe is a form of cancer. Came back, beat that, and is back in the ring, knocking guys out again. That in itself is a victory.
That's right.
But now he wants to add a title to his mantle. I think he's fast enough to do it. The only person I've seen Sakio Bika really down against was Jadon Codrington, and he finished him later on in that fight. So
yeah,
Bika's got a chin, and in order for you to even put a dent in it, you got to hit really hard. We got to find out if Anthony Dirrell hits that hard. I mean, he hasn't been fighting that great a competition his whole career. This is the best fighter he's faced so far. So that's the question for the fight. Can his speed and power offset the wildness of Sakio Bika and the grizzled veteranness? I don't even know if that's a real term, but you just heard it, and you can use it if you want. I don't care.
It's word today.
That's right. So that is what you want to look out for in that fight. Can Dirrell use his speed and his power to get to Bika before he gets suplexed or something like that? Because in this fight, it might happen. You might get a clothesline. You might get some. This might be the closest thing to an MMA bout that you'll see that night.
Now, the only thing I can say that Dirrell needs to watch out for, and Bika can take advantage of, because his trainer Kevin
Cunningham.
Kevin Cunningham might tell him, Dirrell tends to lose form when he starts letting his hands go. He gets very excited and he'll throw everything as well. But he might get caught in the middle of those exchanges, so we'll see. I see it going to 12, but it's a possibility it could end in 8, maybe 9.
Yeah, and I think if it ends early, like Rob said, it's going to be Bika ending it early.
Yeah.
Dirrell's chin hasn't been tested. Bika's has. It's time to find out if that chin is going to pass the test. Let's move on to Austin Trout versus Trout-Lara. And in this fight, you got two very good boxers and also good counter punchers. Somebody's going to have to take the lead, and I think that somebody should be Lara, but not as a point of him just going forward. I think Trout has to make him go forward and make him engage in the action, because Lara is one of those very accurate pinpoint type of punchers, but he's not really one of those guys that likes to stalk his prey and get him out of there fast, with the exception of, like, was it Ronald Hearns, Tommy Hearns' son?
It's a counter punch.
Well, he kind of just bulldozed that, bulldozed him. But for the most part, Lara kind of picks his spots. He's a Cuban amateur. He's very experienced in the amateur system. But he had a lot of problems in that Angulo fight, even though Angulo was coming to him the whole time. And then in the Martirosyan fight as well. Austin Trout isn't as physical as those guys.
No.
But he does make up for it in accurate punching and volume. So I think he needs to walk Lara into his counter shots, use lateral movement, and pick his spots to land some good, crisp, fast combinations, because Lara really punches, he kind of pot shots.
Yeah. I think it's more so mindset for me. I think Lara's going to do what he's good at. I think he'll fall into the plan that he has, which is counter punching, letting his opponent come to him. And Austin Trout, because of the last few fights, I would say the fight to Canelo, he may be more so in a hurry to get to that next level. So he may push the action a little bit. I think he does have, both of them to me have similar, they're very similar fighters actually. Yeah. Both roughly 5'9". I think Austin Trout may be slightly taller, maybe half an inch or so. I would say same speed, but neither one of them are blazing. Yeah. And they can counterpunch. I will say this, in my opinion, I think Lara has better balance. So if he does catch Trout, who kind of, sometimes he goes into a wide stance.
Yeah. And sometimes he throws his punches and gets a little off, but he reaches a bit.
Right. So I think if Lara can take advantage of that, then you might see Lara the bout go to Lara. But if Austin Trout can utilize that head, really good head movement and try not to reach as much, I think he needs to take advantage of utilize the ring better.
Right, he has to catch Lara coming in so he won't have to reach.
Right. Someone's got to set a trap, and I think Austin Trout will show a little bit more aggressiveness in doing it. To me, it's a pick 'em fight. I really can't pick one.
Just enjoy it.
Yeah, I mean, for the boxing aficionados, you're going to enjoy. You're going to see the small things that make boxing what it is. But it's a pick 'em fight. Don't miss it. If you're learning about boxing, this is the time that you need to watch, because it's the subtle things that wins the fight.
That's right. Let's move on to the next one, which is Devin Alexander defending his welterweight title against Sean Porter. And this is a rematch of sorts. They've been trying to build it up. Devin Alexander beat Sean Porter in the amateurs when they were 9. Like that really makes a difference.
I don't think anyone's holding a grudge that long.
They apparently have. Like, they've been going back and forth with the media about how, like Sean Porter wants revenge for that, and Kevin Cunningham's like, oh, we beat him before, we'll beat him again. Like, seriously? Like, that was like, these guys are like 25 years old. That was a long time ago. It's too late for me to do math. But this is going to be another rough fight. Devin Alexander has the faster hands.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure who the power goes to, but the resume definitely goes to Devin Alexander. The best person that Sean Porter has fought so far was Julio Diaz, which he drew the first time. The second time he beat by unanimous decision. But Julio Diaz is a former world champ. Right? Yeah.
Right.
He is. He is a very good fighter, and he had a lot of success against Sean Porter in their 2 fights. And I think Devin Alexander is going to have that same success because Porter keeps his hands kind of high.
Mm-hmm.
His body's really open. Devin Alexander doesn't go to the body a lot, but when he starts letting his combinations go, he does have a nice right hook to the body. He has a great straight left to the body that can offset Porter's advances. But this one has the potential to be ugly as well. Not as ugly as Bika-Dirrell, but it can get ugly as far as if Porter gets in there. Devin Alexander really isn't an inside fighter, and I think that's where Sean Porter has to win the fight.
Right. I mean, Devin Alexander, he's not going to want to fight on the inside because even though Sean Porter isn't a very clean puncher, neither is Devin Alexander, and I think he gets caught not closing his hands either. I mean, he doesn't really have a lot of knockouts. He doesn't get a lot of knockouts, but with his speed and kind of his weird rhythm,
he has very great punch selection.
Yeah, and he has a good punch selection. He just doesn't have the power to follow.
Yeah,
and he doesn't hit clean. So this should go 12. I mean, unless Porter, who is the much bigger, he's actually much bigger. He's very muscular. His advantage to me is to get on the inside, work, and possibly bully Alexander around.
The way Tim Bradley did to give Devin Alexander his only defeat.
That's right. And I mean, at that point, and I don't think he enjoys that type of physicality that Bradley brought and that Sean Porter can bring and should bring to the table. I mean, he's a Philadelphia-based fighter, if I'm not mistaken. Well, he trains in...
I think he trains... He's from that area. I can't remember where Sean...
The Tri-State area, I believe.
Yeah. Sorry, it's getting late. Starting to have some brain farts.
But I mean, he's going to be tough. He's going to do the little things to try to offset the speed of the St. Louis fighter and Devin Alexander.
Yeah. So that's what you want to look out for in that fight. Can Sean Porter impose his will, impose his physicality, make it a rough fight? Because I think that's his only chance. Otherwise, Devin Alexander will combo and turn him to death, and he won't be able to have an answer for that. Excuse me. So let's move on to the main event where we have Zab Super Judah against Paulie the Magic Man Malignaggi. And the last time we saw these guys, Malignaggi was losing a split decision to Adrian Broner, and Judah lost a unanimous decision to Danny Garcia. Both very good fighters. Both of these guys, Malignaggi and Judah, are former world champions. This fight right here is really going to come down to how well Malignaggi can take Judah's punches, because he's a very tough guy. I mean, he won maybe like 4 rounds against Miguel Cotto with a broken face.
That's right.
Think about that. Miguel Cotto broke his face in the second round of that fight, and not only did he finish it, he took a lot of those late rounds against Cotto. So Malignaggi is not a slouch. His only 2 stoppage losses were against Ricky Hatton and Amir Khan, and they were more so of, you're way behind on the scorecards, you don't punch that hard, you're not going to come back and win this fight. So the corner just said, hey, we're going to stop the fight. Judah is a very fast, very strong puncher. He's very adept technically. He has a great amateur background, as does Malignaggi. But not the equalizer, his superiority comes from his punching power. Judah puts people to sleep.
That's right.
That left hand is very dangerous. He can set it up very well with his right hand when he chooses to. That's the question. Is he going to be motivated to win this fight. He says he is. He's trying to get back at the Floyd Mayweathers and types of the welterweight division. He's going to have to beat Malignaggi to get there. But Malignaggi's going to put hands on him. I don't know if they're going to do enough to keep Judah off of him to start launching that left hand, though.
And we saw Judah really bring a lot when he fought Danny Garcia. A lot of people thought that Danny was going to get him out of there. And because the fight was at the Barclays in Brooklyn, Zab was like, I ain't having that shit. And while he did get knocked down in the later rounds and some of the beginning rounds, you saw him really be super Judah and start getting to Danny.
Yeah, he put some good punches on Danny Garcia. He made some great adjustments himself in that fight, which made it a lot more competitive than we all thought it would be. I was one of those people. I was like, man, Judah is gonna get creamed. He always finds a way to not win a fight rather than win a fight, but he showed up. Danny Garcia is just a good fighter, and he adjusted as well and was able to hold on for the decision. But I don't know if Malignaggi is going to be able to do that.
No, I don't think so either.
I think the power of Danny Garcia, along with his boxing IQ, was something that was able to steady that ship and carry him into the victory against Judah. Now with Malignaggi, he's got a good jab. He kind of telegraphs his punches with that whole shuffling of his shoulders before he punches. I guess he calls it a feint. I'm not sure, but he uses up a lot of energy. But he also has good stamina. He's got good conditioning. He'll be able to go for 12 rounds. I just don't think that he'll be able to hit Judah with anything of consequence that'll make Judah say, maybe I need to back up some. I mean, Adrian Broner came up from lightweight and just let Malignaggi tee off on him so he could get his punches off. So, and Malignaggi was the bigger man in that fight.
That's right.
Well, I don't know.
I don't think it was the bigger man, but
yeah, Broner's kind of a fat boy at times. We'll cover that in another video because he's fighting next week. So
yeah, we'll cover that next week.
That's right. I mean, I've said it 3 or 4 times already. I just don't think Malignaggi is going to have the power to keep Judah off of him. But I don't know if Judah's going to be able to stop him. He will land the harder punches. He'll land the showier punches. So it's going to be a question of whether he can land enough of them to get to the decision. And can he be the first guy to really stop Malignaggi?
And it's going to be an entertaining fight because both guys are going to let their hands go. So please tune in and watch this fight.
Yes, even if you DVR because you're watching the HBO fights, come back and watch this one because this is the one that's going to be a very entertaining fight. The first 3 fights of this card are good fights, but they might not be aesthetically pleasing fights. The casual fan might not enjoy those fights as much as they would enjoy Malignaggi Judah. This one is a fight that anyone will watch and enjoy. You got anything else, Rob?
Actually, not for this card, but on Friday, tune in to Showtime. They have Showbox on with Mayweather Promotions. They're going to have Badu Jack. They're going to have J. Leon Love, and they're going to have
Mickey Bay.
And Mickey Bay.
This is going to be Mickey Bay's first fight since being knocked out by John Molina in a fight that he was winning handily. So we're going to see how he comes back from that. Badu Jack has gotten better every time I've seen him. And J. Leon Love, he's up and down. So let's see if he can go back up.
That's right.
His last fight was pretty tough. A lot of people don't think he really won the fight. Then he had that tough fight with Gabriel Rosado as well, where he actually, he got popped for a banned substance, and that fight became a no decision. In a fight that was very tough for him as well. So he did have some family issues for that fight. I believe his brother died right before that fight happened. So maybe his mind, he's trying to get over that. I hope he does, because he does have a lot of promise.
That's right.
So tune in that on a Friday night. That probably starts around 11 for all those night owls out there.
Yeah, about 10 or 11, I would say.
Yeah. that's it, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something from this video. Make sure you like it, share it with your friends. Hopefully they can learn something too. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Like us on our Facebook page, Capital of Combat. Google Plus page, Capital of Combat. Follow us there. That way you'll get all of our updates. We'll be updating live during the fights, giving our thoughts on what's going on. You can interact with us on those sites. You can email us any questions you have at capitalofcombat@gmail.com. You can also put the questions on our Google Plus or Facebook page. We'll make a video answering your question as well.
That's right.
So, we'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.
This is round one, and you've already lost. They don't seem to see that everything we've done is coming and cost. My fists are on fire. I perform till I perspire. My demons are in a rage. Keep thinking that it's a game. I kick rhyme, hurricane. I told them I don't play. I'm liquid.
Black Street Fighter.